You like that? 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 You like that?
What's going on? It's Coach Williams, and I'm back for another breakdown. So today we are going to talk about our scheme fits like we do every year after the draft, and I got to kick it off with the steal of the draft, Christian Gonzalez, falling all the way down to number 17 and getting drafted by the New England Patriots. If you've been following me on this channel, you know that I think that Christian Gonzalez was the best cornerback in the draft. So this is crazy value. So I want to talk through some of the reasons why I think he is going to be excellent for the Patriots. So we're kicking this off with a late in the season game where the Patriots were going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. And so on this play right here, they are playing, I think this is cover 3 buzz here. And we've got Marcus Jones down here at the bottom of the screen. We all know Marcus Jones is only 5'8", and he's ended up having to cover T. Higgins, a 6'5", like 225, 230 pound receiver, right? So even though it's zone coverage, when it's zone, if receivers are getting vertical, it turns into man. And so I was really impressed watching him coming out. Marcus Jones, if you've been following the channel long enough, you saw my breakdowns from him coming out of Houston. And I thought he did a really good job of covering bigger receivers, tight ends, tall receivers. But this is the NFL, and this is the best of the best. And you do not want to live with Marcus Jones having to cover these guys. So he does a good job here of getting into the body of Higgins and bodying him up. But Higgins is just so big and so strong. He can't box him out, lose his body position, and Higgins ends up getting a big explosive play on him. So on this next play here, they're also sticking his zone coverage here, and I think that they're playing quarter, half over here, okay? So he's one of the quarters guys. Again, when it becomes vertical in zone coverage, it really just turns into man. So again, he's got to get into the body of Higgins, right? He gets into his body, but Higgins is just too big, too strong. And look at the vertical on Higgins. Look how high he gets. Gets up here, catches the ball. Again, bodies up Marcus Jones. And so one of the challenges going into this game is I think that they knew that they could not just stick with these guys man to man. They didn't have the matchup, so they tried to zone things up. But still, it ends up turning into these situations where you got these big physical receivers against these guys on the Patriots that are not over 6 feet tall. I think that all of them, all their corners at this time, Jalen Mills is 6 feet, and he was playing corner for them, but he was injured. So all their corners were sub 6 feet. So this was not great for them. So what do they do this year? With their first pick in the draft, they take Christian Gonzalez. Big corner, 6'2". And so this is some footage of him going up against Michael Wilson, a receiver that's a big physical receiver, ended up getting drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. And so he's in press coverage here. And look at how physical he is with him, right? Look how hard Wilson has to struggle to get off of this press. He's into his body. Since he's a taller corner, if you've been on the channel long enough, you've heard me talk about this. He can use that chest-to-chest technique when you're smaller and you try to do that. It's not going to work out well for you because you're not going to have longer arms. He gets chest-to-chest with him and disrupts him enough to not allow this to be a completion. And we're going to get a nice view of it from this tight angle here, right? He's in his body, uses those arms, and Wilson just cannot get to the football. So now we got him down here, bottom of the screen. Again, press man-to-man coverage. Really physical. The two-hand jam, we've talked about this also on the channel. Not a big fan of the two-hand jam unless you're a guy like Sauce Gardner. When we talked about him coming out last year, I said it's fine for him to do it. When you're bigger and longer, you can use the two-hand jam because it's going to affect the route more. So he's all over this thing. Again, no separation in his chest, chest to chest. Knocks the football away. Really great play here. We'll be able to see it again from the tight angle. So here, again, chest to chest in the body of the receiver. Knocks the football away. And then folds his arms a little cocky here, looking at the other team's sideline. I like that. So they always talk about him sometimes, like some of these people on the internet, on Twitter, the Twitter evaluators, and they say, oh, he's just so smooth and all that stuff, but he doesn't really have an edge to him. If you watch the film, he definitely has an edge, okay? He's a physical dude. So we can see him down here at the bottom of the screen again. And this rep, I really love this rep because this shows two things, right? It shows one, that he's thinking the game, okay? So he tries to do this quick jam. So quick jam is something that you can do. It's a change up to your press technique. You're throwing the hand early and trying to dictate where the route is going to go. So he throws a quick jam to force the outside release. And the receiver is actually going inside. So he guesses wrong on this one. But he's so physical with that one hand that it totally knocks Wilson off the route and allows him to get the other hand back. And look at him jacking this dude up, knocking him off his path, gets into his body, and is super physical with him. Like, come on, man. Don't tell me that this dude doesn't have an edge to him. So, another way that I want to show you that he has an edge is he had a rough experience at Colorado, and that's why he transferred to Oregon. And so one thing that I always look at now that the transfer portal is all the rage is when you go up against your old team, if you get an opportunity to go up against your old team, do you show up and do you show out, as Dion would say, right? Do you come into that game with a level of ferocity and want to show that other team what they're missing out on? Well, the Colorado game was one of his best games. So this one is similar to some of the stuff that we were watching with the Patriots. He's also capable of zone coverage too. So he's in zone here, right? He's playing this deep quarter of the field against this 3-by-1. And so he does a good job of reading the routes, right? So he's also intelligent. He's not just a physical freak. He's intelligent. He reads this route concept and they get this post wheel concept. So you get this switch release here. And so he carries the post long enough, but he's apexing the routes so that he can still get to the wheel route. And he's reading the routes through quarterback vision. There's a lot going on here, and he has the capability to see it all. So he flips his hips, drives on the football, picks this thing off. Like, that is just a phenomenal play right there. And so the next play, again, similar concept here, right? We're getting, I think that this is an inverted cover 2. They rotate to it late down here on the bottom of the screen. But they're playing quarters out here, right? Up top. So he's in quarters. He bails. He uses this bail technique. He speed turns back around. We've talked on this channel about his speed turn. It is definitely the best in the draft. Might be one of the best speed turns in the league coming in. But he gets his body into this guy, is super physical. Again, the chest-to-chest technique, since he's a bigger dude, picks this thing off. And not only does he pick it off, he takes it to the house. This is showing up and showing out. So, really love Christian Gonzalez. Think he is a perfect fit for the New England Patriots because he is going to allow them to do what Bill Belichick wants to do. And that is be very multiple in their scheme. They're going to be able to do a lot of things with him having the ability to cover some different diverse styles of receivers because of his skill set. Now, with all of that being said, he did play in the Pac-12. And so he went up against some good receivers, like Michael Wilson is a good receiver, but he didn't go up against a lot of elite receivers. And when he was at Colorado, he did have a little bit of issues when he was covering Drake London, who's on the Falcons now, right? So he's a young guy. He's only 20 years old. So he's just scratching the surface of what he can be. So I think fans are going to have to temper their expectations early. He's not going to be Stephon Gilmore in his first year. If he ends up being that, that would be phenomenal. But I think having that expectation early is not fair to him. But I do think that he is going to be a really good cover corner for the Patriots, and they're going to have the ability to man up. I think that they're going to be in man coverage more than they've been since Gilmore left, right? They started trending a little bit more to zone, still a man-heavy team, but they didn't have the guys to be able to match up consistently week to week when they face certain teams. I think he's going to give them that ability to be more diverse, be more creative, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him with the Patriots because Bill Belichick is the best developer of cornerbacks in the entire NFL, and he just got himself a specimen. So That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. So as always, you know what it is. It's Coach Williams, Ball Hawks. We fly. I'm out. Peace.